What up, what up? Back again. Peace to you all, and glory, and power, and honor be to the Most Highest. And his name is Ahaya, Ashar Ahaya, for all eternity, right? In the name of his blessed Son, whose name is Yeshaya, the Savior, the Messiah, right? And thanks be to the blessed Holy Spirit, the one that gives wisdom and discipline for us to stand in these last days, right? Through the Christ, right? So look, you see the title, we're getting into it. Ecclesiasticus, or otherwise known as Sirach. It's a wisdom book, like Proverbs, right? So there's a lot of good things for us here to absorb and meditate on, right? We're approaching the Sabbath, which is a hallowed day in the earth and in heaven, where we are to rest and reflect on the Father's word. And as we approach that hour, that time here in America on the East Coast, you know, it's lunchtime. Let's figured I'd renew my spirit, and maybe you could join me, right? So I'm going to start off. Yeah, excuse the noise, but I'm going to start off at the 30th chapter. We're just going to start there and go into it because I've read a little bit previously, right? Okay, so we're at chapter 30 in Ecclesiasticus, also known as the Apocrypha, right? And this is always part of your original Bible, if you did not know that, right? So you can always find it between the Old and New Testament. So if you go to Amazon, type in 1611 King James Bible, you'll find that it comes with this, right? So, but this is just a separated section of the original Bible, right? So, right, we're starting at chapter 30. Peace to whoever's there coming in. Love you. So, look. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he hath left one behind him that is like himself, while he lived, and saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends. He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds, and his bowels will be troubled at every cry. And horse not broken becometh headstrong, and a child left to himself will be willful. Conquer thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness. Laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thou gnash thy teeth in the end. Give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies. Bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn, and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart. Chastise thy son, and hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee. Better is the poor, being sound and strong of constitution, than a rich man that is afflicted in his body. Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness. Delicates poured upon a mouth shut up are as messes of meat set upon a grave. What good doeth the offering unto an idol? For neither can it eat nor smell. So that's my fault. I'm sorry about that. Look, these notifications got my phone setting off, right? I'm going nuts over here. Excuse me. So we're at the end of the 30th chapter. Let me get back to it because everything just flew up out of my hand right there, right? So look, we're at the 19th verse. What good doeth the offering unto an idol? For neither can it eat nor smell. So is he that is persecuted of the Lord. He seeth with his eyes and groaneth as an eunuch that embraceth a virgin and sigheth. Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Love thine own soul, and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein. Verse 24. Envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet. Chapter 31. Watching for riches consumeth the flesh, and the care thereof driveth away sleep. Watching care will not let a man slumber, as a sore disease breaketh sleep. The rich hath great labor in gathering riches together, and when he resteth, he is filled with his delicates. The poor laboreth in his poor estate, and when he leaveth off, he is still needy. He that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. Gold hath been the ruin of many, and their destruction was present. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therewith. Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish, and hath not gone after gold. Who is he? And we will call him blessed, for wonderful things hath he done among his people. Who hath been tried thereby and found perfect? Then let him glory. Who might offend and hath not offended, or done evil and hath not done it? His goods shall be established, and the congregation shall declare his alms. If thou, if thou sit at a bountiful table, be not greedy upon it, and say not, there is much meat on it. Remember that a wicked eye is an evil thing, and what is created more wicked than an eye. Therefore it weepeth upon every occasion. Stretch not thine hand whithersoever it looketh, and thrust it not with him into the dish. Judas needed to read that one, right? Judge of thy neighbor by thyself, and be discreet in every point. Eat as it becometh a man, those things which are set before thee, and devour not, lest thou be hated. Leave off first for manners' sake, and be not unsatiable, lest thou offend. When thou sittest among many, reach not thine hand out first of all. A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, and he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed. Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. He riseth early, and his wits are with him. But the pain of watching, and choler, and pangs of the belly. Alright, y'all gotta forgive me. I'm sorry about this. This is ridiculous. My phone's jumping out the window because it's on vibrate, right? And I got it set up precariously. So let me see if I can fix that. Probably not. If it happens again, then it's my fault. But alright, good to see y'all. Brother Stanley in here. Okay, where were we at? Alright, this is the 31st chapter, the 20th verse. Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. He riseth early, and his and his wits are with him. But the pain of watching, and choler, and pangs of the belly are with an unsatiable man. And if thou hast been forced to eat, arise, go forth, vomit, and thou shalt have rest. My son, hear me, and despise me not, and at the last thou shalt find, as I told thee, in all thy works be quick, so shall there no sickness come unto thee. Whoso is liberal of his meat, men shall speak well of him, and the report of his good housekeeping will be believed. But against him that is a niggard of his meat, the whole city shall murmur, and the testimonies of his niggardness shall not be doubted of. To niggard means to take things back, right? But against him that is a niggard of his meat, the whole city shall murmur. We're at 25. Shew not thy valiantness in wine, for wine hath destroyed many. The furnace proveth the edge by dipping, so doth wine the hearts of the proud by drunkenness. Wine is as good as life to a man, if it be drunken moderately. What life is then to a man that is without wine? For it was made to make men glad. Wine measurably drunk and in season bringeth gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind. But wine drunken with excess maketh bitterness of the mind, with brawling and quarreling. Drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool till he offend. It diminisheth strength and maketh wounds. Rebuke not thy neighbor at the wine, and despise him not in his mirth. Give him no despiteful words, and press not upon him with urging him to drink. 30 is definitely true, where it says it diminishes strength, right? Because I remember let's say, all right, I used to work out, right? See a little gain, right? And maybe drink the next day, and then I would see that was taken away, right? It diminishes strength. It dries you up. Maybe it's I don't know. Esau could tell you about the science behind it, but I trust the word, right? So look, chapter 32. If thou be made the master of a feast, lift not thyself up, but be among them as one of the rest. Take diligent care for them, and so sit down. And when thou hast done all thy office, take thy place, that thou mayest be merry with them, and receive a crown for thy well ordering of the feast. Speak thou that art the elder, for it becometh thee, but with sound judgment, and hinder not music. Pour not out words where there is a musician, and shew not forth wisdom out of time. A concert of music and a banquet of wine is as a signet of carbuncles set in gold, as a signet of an emerald set in a work of gold. So is the melody of music with pleasant wine. Speak, young man, if there be need of thee, and yet scarcely when thou art twice asked. Let thy speech be short, comprehending much in a few words. Be as one that knoweth, and yet holdeth his tongue. If thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them. And when ancient men are in place, use not many words. Before the thunder goeth the lightning, and before a shamefaced man shall go favor. Rise up betimes, and be not the last, but get thee home without delay. There take thy pastime, and do what thou wilt, but sin not by proud speech. And for these things bless him that made thee, and hath replenished thee with his good things. Whoso feareth the Lord will receive his discipline, and they that seek him early shall find favor. He that seeketh the law shall be filled therewith, but the hypocrite will be offended thereat. They that fear the Lord shall find judgment, and shall kindle justice as a light. A sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will. A man of counsel will be considerate, but a strange and proud man is not daunted with fear, even when of himself he hath done without counsel. Do nothing without advice, and when thou hast once done, repent not. Go not in a way wherein thou mayest fall, and stumble not among the stones. Be not confident in a plain way, and beware of thine own children. In every good work trust thine own soul, for this is the keeping of the commandments. He that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment, and he that trusteth in him shall fare never the worse. Chapter 33. There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation even again he will deliver him. A wise man hateth not the law, but he that is an hypocrite therein is as a ship in a storm. A man of understanding trusteth in the law, and the law is faithful unto him, as an oracle. Prepare what to say, and so thou shalt be heard, and bind up instruction, and then make answer. The heart of the foolish is like a cartwheel, and his thoughts are like a rolling axle tree. A stallion horse is as a mocking friend. He neigheth under every one that sitteth upon him. Why doth one day excel another, when as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun? By the knowledge of the Lord they were distinguished, and he altered seasons and feasts. Some of them hath he made high days, and hallowed them, and some of them hath he made ordinary days. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of the earth. In much knowledge the Lord hath divided them, and made their ways diverse. Some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them hath he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them hath he cursed and brought low, and turned out of their places. As the clay is in the potter's hand, to fashion it as the clay is in the potter's hand, to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as liketh him best. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner. Hold on, let me wait for this truck to pass. Let me make sure y'all hear me. Alright, excuse me. Okay, this is chapter 33, the 14th verse. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are 2 and 2, one against another. I awaked up last of all, as one that gathereth after the grape gatherers. By the blessing of the Lord I profited, and filled my winepress like a gatherer of grapes. Consider that I labored not for myself only, but for them that seek learning. Hear me, O ye great men of the people, and hearken with your ears, ye rulers of the congregation. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another, lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again. As long as thou livest and hast breath in thee, give not thyself over to any, for better it is that thy children should seek to thee, than thou shouldest stand to their courtesy. In all thy works keep to thyself the preeminence. Leave not a stain in thine honor. At the time when thou shalt end thy days and finish thy life, distribute thine inheritance. Fodder, and wand, and burdens are for the ass, and bread, correction, and work for a servant. If thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest. Excuse me. But if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty. A yoke and a collar do bow the neck, so are the tortures and torments for an evil servant. Send him to labor, that he be not idle, for idleness teacheth much evil. Set him to work as it is fit for him. If he be not obedient, put on every heavy fetters. But be not excessive toward any, and without discretion do nothing. If thou have a servant, let him be unto thee as thyself, because thou hast bought him with a price. If thou have a servant, entreat him as a brother, for thou hast need of him, as of thine own soul. If thou entreat him evil, and he run from thee, which way wilt thou go to seek him? Chapter 34. The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false. The dreams lift up fools. Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow, and followeth after the wind. The vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeness of a face to a face. Of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? And from that thing which is false, what truth can come? Divinations and soothsayings and dreams are vain, and the heart fancieth as a woman's heart in travail. If they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation, set not thy heart upon them. For dreams have deceived many, and they have failed that put their trust in them. The law shall be found perfect without lies, and wisdom is perfection to a faithful mouth. A man that hath traveled knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom. He that hath no experience knoweth little, but he that hath traveled is full of prudence. When I traveled, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. I was ofttimes in danger of death, yet I was delivered because of these things. The spirit of those that fear the Most High shall live, for their hope is in him that saveth them. Whoso feareth the Most High shall not fear nor be afraid, for he is his hope. Blessed is the soul of him that feareth the Most High, to whom doth he To whom doth he look? And who is his strength? For the eyes of the Most High are upon them that love him. He is their mighty protection and strong stay, a defense from heat, and a cover from the sun at noon, a preservation from stumbling, and an help from falling. He raiseth up the soul, and lighteneth the eyes. He giveth health, life, and blessing. He that sacrificeth of a thing wrongfully gotten, his offering is ridiculous, and the gifts of unjust men are not accepted. The Most High is not pleased with the offerings of the wicked, neither is he pacified for sin by the multitude of sacrifices. Whoso bringeth an offering of the goods of the poor doeth as one that killeth the son before his father's eyes. The bread of the needy is their life. He that defraudeth him thereof is a man of blood. He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him. He that defraudeth the laborer of his hire is a bloodshedder. When one buildeth and another pulleth down, what profit have they then but labor? When one prayeth and another curseth, whose voice will the Lord hear? He that washeth himself after the touching of a dead body, if he touch it again, what availeth his washing? So is it with a man that fasteth for his sins, and goeth again and doeth the same. Who will hear his prayer, or what doth his humbling profit? Chapter 35. He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough. He that taketh heed to the commandment offereth a peace offering. He that requiteth a good turn offereth fine flour. And he and he that giveth alms sacrificeth praise. To depart from wickedness is a thing pleasing to the Most High, and to forsake unrighteousness is a propitiation. Thou shalt not appear empty before the Most High, for all things are to be done because of the commandment. The offering of the righteous maketh the altar fat, and the sweet savor thereof is before the Most High. The sacrifice of a just man is acceptable, and the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten. Give Ahiah his honor with a good eye, and diminish not the first fruits of thine hands. In all thy gifts shew a cheerful countenance, and dedicate thy tithes with gladness. Give unto the Most High according as he hath enriched thee, and as thou hast gotten. Give with a cheerful eye, for the Most High recompenseth, and will give thee 7 times as much. Do not think to corrupt with gifts, for such he will not receive. And trust not to unrighteous sacrifices. For Ahiah is judge, and with him is no respect of persons. He will not accept any person against a poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed. He will not despise the supplication of the fatherless, nor the widow, when she poureth out her complaint. Do not the tears run down the widow's cheeks, and it is not her cry against him that causeth them to fall? He that serveth the Most High shall be accepted with favor, and his prayer shall reach unto the clouds. The prayer of the humble pierceth the clouds, until it come nigh. It will not be until it come nigh. He will not be comforted, and will not depart till the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment. For the Most High will not be slack, neither will the mighty be patient toward them, till he have smitten and sundered the loins of the unmerciful, and repaid vengeance to the heathen, till he have taken away the multitude of the proud, and broken the scepter of the unrighteous, till he hath rendered to every man according to his deeds, and to the works of men according to their devices, till he have judged the cause of his people, and made them to rejoice in his mercy. Mercy is seasonable in the time of affliction, as clouds of rain in the time of drought. Chapter 36. Have mercy upon us, O Most High Power of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. Lift up thy hand against the strange nations, and let them see thy power, as thou wast sanctified in us before them. So be thou magnified among them before us. and let them know thee, and we have known thee, that there is no power but only thou, O Ahiah. Shew new signs, and make other strange wonders. Glorify thine hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. Raise up indignation, and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary, and destroy the enemy. Make the time short. Remember the covenant, and let them declare thy wonderful works. Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people. Smite in sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen, that say, there is none other but we. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, and inherit thou them, as from the beginning. O Most High, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name, and upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn. O be merciful unto Jerusalem, thy excuse me, man, brother, vaccinated people get me out the way. Or what is it? Where were we at? Chapter 36 and 12. O Most High, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name, and upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn. O be merciful unto Jerusalem, thy holy city, the place of thy rest. Fill Zion with thy unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name. Reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. O Most High, hear the prayer of thy servants, according to the blessing of Aaron over thy people, that all they which dwell upon the earth may know that thou art the Most High, the eternal power. The belly devoureth all meats, yet is one meat better than another. As the palate tasteth divers kinds of venison, so doth an heart of understanding false speeches. A froward heart causeth heaviness, but a man of experience will recompense him. A woman will receive every man, yet is one daughter better than another. The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. And he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning. Who will trust a thief well appointed, that skippeth from city to city? So who will believe a man that hath no house, and lodgeth wheresoever the night taketh him? Chapter 37. Every friend saith, I am his friend also. But there is a friend which is only a friend in name. Is it not a grief unto death, when a companion and friend is turned to an enemy? O wicked imagination, whence camest thou in to cover the earth with deceit? There is a companion which rejoiceth in the prosperity of a friend, but in the time of trouble will be against him. There is a companion which helpeth his friend for the belly, and taketh up the buckler against the enemy. Forget not thy friend in thy mind, and be not unmindful of him in thy riches. Every counselor extolleth counsel, but there is some that counseleth for himself. Beware of a counselor, and know before what need he hath, for he will counsel for himself. Excuse me, lest he cast the lot upon thee, and say unto thee, thy way is good, and afterward he stand on the other side to see what shall befall thee. Consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous, neither with a coward in matters of war, nor with a merchant concerning exchange, nor with a buyer of selling, nor with an envious man of thankfulness, nor with an unmerciful man touching kindness, nor with the slothful for any work, nor with an hireling for a year of finishing work, nor with an idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel, but be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Most High, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee, if thou shalt miscarry. And let the counsel of thine own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it. For a man's mind is sometime wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. And above all this, pray to the Most High, that he will direct thy way in truth. Let reason go before every enterprise, and counsel before every action. The countenance is a sign of a changing heart. 4 manner of things appear, good and evil, life and death, but the tongue ruleth over them continually. There is one that is wise, and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself. Pardon me. Chapter 37, verse 20. There is one that sheweth wisdom in words, and is hated. He shall be destitute of all food. For grace is not given him from the Most High, because he is deprived of all wisdom. Another is wise to himself, and the fruits of understanding are commendable in his mouth. A wise man instructeth his people, and the fruits of his understanding fail not. A wise man shall be filled with blessing, and all they that see him shall count him happy. The days of the life of a man may be numbered, but the days of Israel are innumerable. A wise man shall inherit glory among his people, and his name shall be perpetual. My son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither hath every soul pleasure in everything. Be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats. For For excess of meats bringeth sickness, and surfeiting will turn into choler. By surfeiting have many perished, but he that taketh heed prolong his life. Chapter 38. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the uses which ye may have for him. For the Most High hath created him. For of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king. The skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. The Most High hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. Was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known? And he hath given man skill, that he might be honored in his marvelous works. Sorry, wait for this truck. Alright. Where are we at? I just lost my place, excuse me, y'all. Alright, but we're at chapter 38 and the 5th verse. The 6th verse, excuse me. And he hath given man skill, that he might be honored in his marvelous works. With such doth he heal men, and taketh away their pains. Of such doth the apothecary make confection, and of his works there is no end. And from him is peace over all the earth. My son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto the Most High, and he will make thee whole. Give me one sec, y'all. Give me one sec. It's that time again. Alright. Appreciate that. Excuse me. Alright, this is chapter 38 at the 9th verse. My son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto the Most High, and he will make thee whole. Leave off from sin, and order thine hands aright, and cleanse thy heart from all wickedness. Give a sweet savor, and a memorial of fine flour, and make a fat offering as not being. Then give place to the physician, for the Most High hath created him. Let him not go from thee, for thou hast need of him. There is a time when in their hands there is good success. Excuse me. For they shall also pray unto the Most High, that he would prosper that which they give for ease and remedy to prolong life. He that sinneth before his Maker, let him fall into the hand of the physician. My son, let tears fall down over the dead, and begin to lament as if thou hadst suffered great harm thyself, and then cover his body according to the custom, and neglect not his burial. Weep bitterly, and make great moan, and use lamentation as he is worthy, and that a day or two, lest thou be evil spoken of, and then comfort thyself for thy heaviness. For of heaviness cometh death, and the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength. In affliction also sorrow remaineth, and the life of the poor is the curse of the heart. Take no heaviness to heart. Pardon me. Verse 20. Chapter 38, verse 20. Take no heaviness to heart, drive it away, and remember the last end. Forget it not, for there is no turning again. Thou shalt not do him good, but hurt thyself. Remember my judgment, for thine also shall be so, yesterday for me, and today for thee. When the dead is at rest, let his remembrance rest, and be comforted for him, when his spirit is departed from him. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become wise. How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plough, and that glorify in the goad, that driveth oxen, and is occupied in their labors, and whose talk is of bullocks? He giveth his mind to make furrows, and is diligent to give the kine fodder. So every carpenter and workmaster that laboreth night and day, and they that cut the grave seals, and are diligent to make great variety, and give themselves to counterfeit imagery, and to watch to finish a work. The smith also sitting by the anvil, and considering the ironwork, excuse me, and considering the ironwork, the vapor of the fire wasteth his flesh, and he fighteth with the heat of the furnace. The noise of the hammer and the anvil is ever in his ears, and his eyes look still upon the pattern of the thing that he maketh. He setteth his mind to finish his work, and watcheth to polish it perfectly. So doth the potter sitting at his work, and turning, verse 29, so doth the potter sitting at his work, and turning the wheel about his feet, who is always carefully set at his work, and maketh all his work by number. He fashioneth the clay with his arm, and boweth down his strength before his feet. He applieth himself to lead it over, and he is diligent to make clean the furnace. All these trust to their hands, and every one is wise in his work. Without these cannot a city be inhabited, and they shall not dwell where they will, nor go up and down. They shall not be sought for in public council, nor sit high in the congregation. Give that noise a second. Alright. So we're at my fault. I just got all flustered for a second. I'm reading like this is my room or something. I'm out in the street, you know what I'm saying? So I can't be mad at nobody out here. But look, we're at the 38th chapter and 33rd verse. They shall not be sought for in public council, nor sit high in the congregation. They shall not sit on the judge's seat, nor understand the sentence of judgment. They cannot declare justice and judgment, and they shall not be found where parables are spoken. But they will maintain the state of the world, and all their desire is in the work of their craft. Chapter 39. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies. He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. He will seek out the secrets of grave sentences, and be conversant in dark parables. He shall serve among great men, and appear before princes. He will travel through strange countries, for he hath tried the good and the evil among men. He will give his heart to resort early to the Most High that made him, and will pray before the Most High, and will open his mouth in prayer, and make supplication for his sins. Alright, where we at? Okay, moving on here. Alright, chapter 39 and the 6th verse. When the great Most High will, he shall be filled with the spirit of understanding. He shall pour out wise sentences, and give thanks unto the Most High in his prayers. He shall direct his counsel and knowledge, and in his secrets shall he meditate. Let me make sure my car's turned off, bro. I'm sitting here that whole time, whiling with my car on. Shoot. Alright, where were we at? Okay. Chapter 39, verse 7. He shall direct his counsel and knowledge, and in his secrets shall he meditate. He shall shew forth that which he hath learned, and shall glory in the law of the covenant of the Most High. Many shall commend his understanding, and so long as the world endureth, it shall not be blotted out. His memorial shall not depart away, and his name shall live from generation to generation. Nation shall shew forth his wisdom, and the congregation shall declare his praise. If he die, he shall leave a greater name than 1,000, and if he live, he shall increase it. Yet have I more to say, which I have thought upon, for I am filled as the moon at the full. Hearken unto me, ye holy children, and bud forth as a rose growing by the brook of the field, and give ye a sweet savor as frankincense, and flourish as a lily. Send forth a smell, and sing a song of praise. Bless the Most High in all his works. Magnify his name, and shew forth his praise with the songs of your lips, and with harps, and in praising him ye shall say after this manner. All the works of the Most High are exceeding good, and whatsoever he commandeth shall be accomplished in due season. And none may say, What is this? Wherefore is that? For at that time convenient they shall all be sought out. At his commandment the water stood as an heap, and at the words of his mouth the receptacles of, At his commandment the water stood as an heap, and at the words of his mouth the receptacles of waters. At his commandment is done whatsoever pleaseth him, and none can hinder when he will save. The works of all flesh are before him, and and nothing can be hid from his eyes. He seeth from everlasting to everlasting, and there is nothing wonderful before him. A man need not to say, What is this? Wherefore is that? For he hath made all things for their uses. His blessing covered the dry land as a river, and watered it as a flood. He hath turned the waters into saltness, so shall the heathen inherit his wrath. As his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly. So to the sinners they are turned to evil. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts, scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon the earth when the need is. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Therefore from the beginning I was resolved, and thought upon these things, and have left them in writing. All the works of the Most High are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season, so that a man cannot say, this is worse than that. For in time they shall all be well approved. And therefore praise ye the Most High with the whole heart and mouth, and bless the name of Ahijah, Ashar Ahijah. Right, chapter 40. Great travail is created for every man, and a heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam from the day that they go out of their mother's womb, till the day that they return to the mother of all things. Their imagination of things to come in the day of death trouble their thoughts, and cause fear of heart. From him that sitteth on a throne of glory unto him that is humbled in earth and ashes. From him that weareth purple and a crown unto him that is clothed with linen and frock. Wrath and envy, trouble and unquietness, fear of death and anger, and strife, and in the time of rest upon his bed, his night sleep do change his knowledge. A little or nothing is his rest, and afterward he is in his sleep, as in a day of keeping watch, troubled in the vision of his heart, as if he were escaped out of a battle. When all is safe, he awaketh, and marveleth that the fear was nothing. Such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners. Where they say the wicked don't get any rest, right? Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes come the flood. All things that are of the earth shall turn to the earth again, and that which is of the waters doth return into the sea. All bribery and injustice shall be blotted out, but true dealing shall endure forever. The goods of the unjust shall be dried up like a river, and shall vanish with noise like a great thunder in rain. While he openeth his hand, he shall rejoice, so shall transgressors come to naught. The children of the ungodly shall not bring forth many branches, but are as unclean roots upon a hard rock. The weed growing upon every water and bank of a river shall be pulled up before all grass. Bountifulness is as a most fruitful garden, and mercifulness endureth forever. To labor and to be content with that a man hath is a sweet life, but he that findeth a treasure is above them both. Children and the building of a city continue a man's name, but a blameless wife is counted above them both. Wine and music rejoice the heart, but the love of wisdom is above them both. The pipe and the psaltery make sweet melody, but a pleasant tongue is is above them both. Thine eye desireth favor and beauty, but more than both corn. Thine eye desireth favor and beauty, but more than both corn while it is green. A friend and companion never meet amiss, but above both is a wife with her husband. Brethren and help are against time of trouble, but alms shall deliver more than them both. Gold and silver make the foot stand sure, but counsel is esteemed above them both. Riches and strength lift up the heart, but the fear of the Most High is above them both. There is no want in the fear of the Most High, and it needeth not to seek help. The fear of the Most High is a fruitful garden, and covereth him above all glory. My son, lead not a beggar's life, for better it is to die than to beg. Excuse me. The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life, for he polluteth himself with other men's meats. But a wise man well nurtured will beware thereof. Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, but in his belly there shall burn a fire. Chapter 41. O death, how bitter is the remembrance of thee to a man that liveth at the rest in his possessions, unto the man that hath nothing to vex him, and that hath prosperity in all things, yea, unto him that is yet able to receive meat. O death, acceptable is thy sentence unto the needy, and unto him whose strength faileth, that is now in the last age, and is vexed with all things, and to him that despaireth, and hath lost patience. Fear not the sentence of death. Remember them that have been before thee, and that come after. For this is the sentence of the Most High over all flesh. And why art thou against the pleasure of the Most High? There is no inquisition in the grave, whether thou have lived 10 or 100 or 1,000 years. The children of sinners are abominable children, and they that are conversant in the dwelling of the ungodly. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach. The children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake. Woe be unto you, ungodly men, which have forsaken the law of the Most High Ahijah. For if ye increase, it shall be to your destruction. And if ye be born, ye shall be born to a curse. And if ye die, a curse shall be your portion. All that are of the earth shall turn to earth again. So the ungodly go from a curse to destruction. The mourning of men is about their bodies, but an ill name of sinners shall be blotted out. Have regard to thy name, for that shall continue with thee above 1,000 great treasures of gold. A good life hath but a few days, but a good name endureth forever. My children, keep discipline in peace, for wisdom that is hid and a treasure that is not seen, what profit is it in them both? A man that hideth his foolishness is better than a man that hideth his wisdom. Therefore be shamefaced according to my word, for it is not good to retain all shamefacedness, neither is it altogether approved in everything. Be ashamed of whoredom before father and mother, and of a lie before a prince and a mighty man, of an offense before the judge and ruler, of iniquity before a congregation and people, of unjust dealing before thy partner and friend, and of theft in regard of the place where thou sojournest, and in regard of the truth of Ahijah and his covenant, and to lean with thine elbow upon the meat, and of scorning to give and take, and of silence before them that salute thee, and to look upon an harlot, and to turn away thy face from thy kinsman, or to take away a portion or a gift, or to gaze upon another man's wife, or to be over busy with his maid, and come not near her bed, or of upbraiding speeches before friends, and after thou hast given, upbraid not, or of iterating and speaking again that which thou hast heard, and of revealing of secrets. So shalt thou be truly shamefaced, and find favor before all men. Chapter 42. Of these things be not thou ashamed, and and accept no person to sin thereby, of the law of the Most High, and his covenant, and of judgment to justify the ungodly, of reckoning with thy partners and travelers, or of the gift of the heritage of friends, of exactness of balance and weights, or of getting much or little, and of merchants indifferent selling, of much correction of children, and to make the side of an evil servant to bleed. Sure keeping is good, where an evil wife is, and shut up, where many hands are. Sure keeping is good, where an evil wife is, and shut up, where many hands are. Deliver all things in number and weight, and put all in writing that thou givest out or receivest in. Be not ashamed to inform the unwise and foolish in the extreme age that contendeth with those that are young. Thus shalt thou be truly learned and approved of all men living. The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, and he careth for her, and the care for her taketh away sleep, when she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age. Excuse me, let me read the 9th verse again. This 42nd chapter, the 9th verse. The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, and the care for her taketh away sleep, when she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age, and being married, lest she should be hated. In her virginity, lest she should be defiled, and gotten with child in her father's house. And having an husband, lest she should misbehave herself. And when she is married, lest she should be barren. Keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter, lest she make thee a laughingstock to thine enemies, and a byword in the city, and a reproach among the people, and make thee ashamed before the multitude. Behold not everybody's beauty, and sit not in the midst of women. For from garments cometh a moth, and from women wickedness. Better is the churlishness of a man than a courteous woman. A woman, I say, which bringeth shame and reproach. I will now remember the works of the Most High, and declare the things that I have seen. In the words of the Most High are his works. The sun that giveth light looketh upon all things, and the work thereof is full of the glory of the Most High. The Most High hath not given power to the saints to declare all marvelous works. The Most High hath not given power to the saints to declare all his marvelous works, which the Almighty Most High firmly settled, that whatsoever is might be established for his glory. He seeketh out the deep. He seeketh out the deep in the heart, and considereth their crafty devices. For the Most High knoweth all that may be known, and he beholdeth the signs of the world. He declareth the things that are past, and for to come, and revealeth the steps of hidden things. No thought escapeth him, neither any word is hidden from him. He hath garnished the excellent works of his wisdom, and he is from everlasting to everlasting. Unto him may nothing be added, neither can he be diminished, and he hath no need of any counselor. O how desirable are all his works, and that a man may see even to a spark. All these things live and remain forever for all uses. Excuse me. And they are all obedient. All things are double one against another, and he hath made nothing imperfect. One thing establisheth the good of another, and whoso shall be filled with and one thing establish the good of another, and who shall be filled with beholding his glory. All right, chapter 43, and then I'm gonna cut out of here. Last one. The pride of the height, the clear firmament, the beauty of heaven, with his glorious shew. The sun, when it appeareth, declaring at his rising, a marvelous instrument, the work of the Most High. At noon it parcheth the country, and who can abide the burning heat thereof? A man blowing a furnace in his works of heat, but the sun burneth the mountains 3 times more, breathing out fiery vapors, and sending forth bright beams. It dimmeth the eyes. Great is the Most High that made it, and at his commandment it runneth hastily. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times, in the sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. The beauty of heaven the glory of the stars, an ornament giving light in the highest places of the Most High. The commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches. Look upon the rainbow and praise him that made it. Very beautiful it is in the brightness thereof. It compasseth the heaven about with a glorious circle, and the hands of the Most High have bended it. By his commandment he maketh the snow to fall apace, and sendeth swiftly the lightnings of his judgment. Through this the treasures are opened, and clouds fly forth as fowls. By his great power he maketh the clouds firm, and the hailstones are broken small. At his sight the mountains are shaken, and at his will the south wind bloweth. The noise of the thunder maketh the earth to tremble. So doth the northern storm in the whirlwind. As birds flying he scattereth the snow, and the falling down thereof is as the lightning of grasshoppers, lighting of grasshoppers. The eye marveleth at the beauty of the whiteness thereof, and the heart is astonished at the raining of it. The hoarfrost also as salt he poureth on the earth, and being congealed it lieth on the top of sharp stakes. When the cold north wind bloweth, and the waters congealed into ice, it abideth upon every gathering together of water, and clotteth the water as with a breastplate. It devoureth the mountains, and burneth the wilderness, and consumeth the grass as fire. A present remedy of all is a mist coming speedily, a dew coming after heat refresheth. By his counsel he appeaseth the deep, and planteth islands therein. They that sail on the sea tell of the danger thereof, and when we hear it with our ears, we marvel thereat. For therein be strange and wondrous works. Variety of all kinds of beasts and whales are created. By him the end of them hath prosperous success. Excuse me. Sheesh. Alright. Excuse me, where are we at? Okay, there's chapter 43. And we're going to start at the 24th verse. The 26th verse. By him the end of them hath prosperous success, and by his word all things consist. We may speak much, and yet come short, wherefore in some he is all. How shall we be able to magnify him? For he is great above all his works. The Most High is terrible and very great, and marvelous in his power. When ye glorify the Most High, exalt him as much as ye can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength, and be not weary, for ye can never go far enough. Who hath seen him, that he might tell us? And who can magnify him as he is? There are yet hid greater things than these be, for we have seen but a few of his works. For the Most High hath made all things, and to the godly hath he given wisdom. Alright, that's it, family. So we stopped at chapter 43. Most High willing, we'll continue, right? But, it's a good book to read. Ecclesiasticus or Sirach in the Apocrypha, a wisdom book. Beautiful life lessons. Teach us how to move and operate, right? And have some glory and honor when we're operating in the law and keeping the commandments, and being shown as men of wisdom and men of God when we apply these teachings to our life, right? So anyways, peace to y'all. Glory be to the Father. It's time to get ready for the Sabbath. I hope y'all enjoy your Sabbath, and love y'all, and I'll see you next time, right? Take care of yourselves. Stay prayed up. Peace.